Our team, our community. This is Condors Town, and this is another Energy Condors connection. Now, here's Erik Fox and Ryan Holt.
Yeah, we timed Ward a couple days, but you know what? That's what we do sometimes. It is Energy Condors Connection. Usually we do this on Tuesday, but unfortunately, Ryan Holt got to spend time at the most wonderful place in the world. You want to share where you were on Tuesday when we were supposed to be doing this shindig?
The DMV.
Ah!
See, I should have done it live from the DMV. That would have been
there
fun.
You go. We could have talked to hockey while you were at your appointment time, but you were not taken at your appointment time. But anyways, I do know that there are some hardworking people at DMV, and I know they also speak up when we talk about them. So we're going to stop there. Let's talk hockey.
They have a thankless job.
They do.
It's like referees.
Yep. Job. I refereed a couple sports in my life, and I'm going to tell you that was that's definitely a way to get some tough skin in your life.
Yep.
Anyways, let's talk as we always do. We talk. Let me change my camera angle there a little bit. Let's go and do as we always do. And it's hard to believe how fast the season has just flown by. We're talking. We're only a few days away from wrapping it up. Let's talk about Edmonton Oilers first, where at the beginning of the year we rinse and repeat here. We didn't know how it was going to go, but we kind of expected this doesn't feel right. So now everything is right. Where now they're just trying to figure out who their opponent is going to be in the first round, the Knights or the Kings.
Yeah, it might even be, different if they win the division, right? So, yeah, I think, they have a valid shot at winning the division here. They're going to play a lot of games down the stretch here for the final week of the season, but, they're right there with Vancouver right now. They're 3 points back and have 2 games in hand. So the Oilers completely control their destiny, whether they, want to win the division or not. So, yes, there are some guys banged up. Obviously, McDavid didn't play last night against Vegas, but, I think, they put themselves in a really good spot here down the stretch to kind of, rest some guys, get some guys some breaks here down the stretch, but also, make a push for the division, which, at Thanksgiving, would you have said that? Not a chance. So it took a miraculous 17-game winning streak, 18-game winning streak to, pull yourself back into the conversation. But at the end of the day, they're right there with Vancouver right now and in a really good spot. And I don't think anybody wants to see the Oilers come playoff time.
Let's go and talk about it because we're on a 3-game winning streak right now. Let's look at the schedule over the rest of the year. First of all, a nice win last night over Vegas, which, where we get to control even other people's destiny. But a 5-1 win is beautiful for that.
Yeah, and I think, you want to be playing your best hockey at the best time of the year, and that's now. You want to feel good about your game going into the postseason, and regardless of what records say, you look at it and one of the teams is going to get Nashville. Do you want to play Nashville in the round one? I mean, not the way they played in the second half of the year. You probably want Vancouver based off, their injuries and how they've looked in the second half of the season, but that's where the records stand right now. So, I don't think anybody wants to see Nashville, but at the end of the day, Vegas will be a different looking team come playoff time. I'm assuming they're going to get a guy or two back here. I'm assuming their goaltender is going to be healthy here going into the postseason, but they put themselves in a tough spot. I think for the Oilers, you're going to have home ice. You're a good team. You got to think that you're better than just about anybody in the division, just about anybody in the conference. And it's a coin flip against, even the best of the best right now. So, big win over Vegas last night. Dylan Holloway goes up and scores. He had a hat trick for us on Saturday, goes up and scores a big goal for the Oilers last night as well, too. So great to see. And hopefully the Oilers keep it up because, I think, they're one of a handful of teams I think that can win the cup.
Let's talk about the games coming up because you got a hodgepodge of some teams that are struggling, including the worst team in the league, and then a couple teams that are going to be kind of that hindrance to get maybe where they want to be. Let's talk about Arizona. We got 2 games versus them. Saturday taking on Vancouver.
You mean Utah?
Utah, yes, there we go. Or Sacramento. Lord knows where things end up anymore.
West Sacramento. Different than Sacramento. West Sacramento.
And then San Jose, who's obviously the most struggling team in the league. But then we also have a couple of tough opponents where we were talking about Vancouver. So we got that game on Saturday and the next Thursday versus the Avs, who have been a little streaky, but they've been stronger lately.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to see Colorado come playoff time. And, they've been banged up, had some injuries. Mikko Rantanen hasn't played for, a couple of weeks, I think, since he got injured against the Oilers. So, I think, they'll get, both goaltenders some work here down the stretch. I would assume, Calvin Pickard gets the gets the Arizona and the San Jose games and things like that. But you want to be playing, like I said, the best hockey, the best time, and it doesn't matter who you play. You can't take nights off, and teams can beat anybody.
It's not a Vegas joke, right?
What's that?
That's not a Vegas joke, right? You can't take nights off.
No, you can't take nights off. It's a barometer. I don't think a lot of teams want to show everything that they have up their sleeve going into the postseason, but it's all pretty much set. The Oilers know they're going to have home ice. They're going to face an opponent. I mean, at this point, it's a coin flip with anybody. I like them against LA. I like them against Vegas. I like them against that. It doesn't matter in round one. They're favored for sure. So, but I think you want to, get guys feeling good about themselves going into the postseason. You want to be healthy, and we'll see where the chips fall.
Here's a question coming in via one of our live stream watchers right now from Trenton. Will Holloway stay with the Oilers, and what exactly is an emergency recall?
It's a two-part question. That's a great one. So an emergency recall is so after the trade deadline, you're only allowed 4 regular recalls, and a regular recall counts against the cap. It counts against salary cap purposes, roster purposes up in the NHL. Well, the way the Oilers roster is constructed, any recall that the Oilers have is because someone's injured. And it puts the Oilers below the threshold of the roster limit. So you're just emergency recalling just to get to the roster limit. Now, if and when that person is healthy, so say McDavid gets healthy, that's the person that's out of the lineup.
Right.
If and when he's healthy, you either have to convert Holloway to a regular recall, in which case his salary counts against the cap. I think they have enough room for it to count either way, or you have to send him back down. So some teams like Vegas, who are over the cap right now, if they call anybody up, it has to be emergency recall because you can't just call guys up and be over the cap. So that's the reason why it's an emergency recall. You're only allowed 4 regular recalls. The Oilers haven't called anybody up anyway, so that doesn't matter. It's more of a salary cap thing. Will he stay with the Oilers? Maybe. I don't know. I think if he's in the lineup, I think he stays. If he's not in the lineup, I think he comes down. I don't think they want him sitting around. And again, we only have 1 week left. Both teams have 1 week. Oilers end next Thursday. If he's in your game 1 lineup in the postseason, he probably sticks. If he doesn't get in your game 1 lineup, I think he probably comes down. But, I'd keep him there. He's an elite offensive player. He's an elite player. We saw it here in the American League. He's got a big future ahead of him. I'm very bullish on Dylan Holloway. I've liked him since the moment I saw him, when he was practicing with us in 2020, and his skill set is unmatched. He just needs the opportunity, I think, because I think he has all the skills there.
Agreed. And thank you so much, Trenton, for your question. If you guys ever have questions, feel free to put them in the comments, because that's what we do here. We do that little thingamajigger where we look at things and actually do things, and we don't just ignore you guys. So anyways, thank you once again, Trenton, for the question. Let's go and jump as we do. We jump into the local stuff because we are the Condors Connection. So let's talk about the Condors and talk about playoff time. The big question right now, because everything is so tight, who are we going to be facing in round 1?
Somebody in the Pacific Division.
See, that's why I ask the hard-hitting questions, because I get the hard-hitting answers like that.
Yeah, it's I think last night loss to San Diego. I think probably it probably flipped us from 50-50 home ice to probably 20% home ice right now. Okay. If you're a betting man, we're gonna need some help here on the weekend. We're gonna have to win out the final 4 games, I think, to give ourselves a claim to home ice. I think we needed 4 out of 5 wins anyways, going into the final 5 games, and now we have 4 games left, so we need 4 wins. So it won't be easy by any stretch of the imagination. But that said, and I've said this to numerous people here over the last couple of weeks, I think this year more than ever, I think at least 1 team, maybe even 2, come out of the the road side of the equation and flip a home series in round 1. I truly think that. You look at the Condors records against the 3 teams that are likely going to get home ice: Ontario, Colorado, Tucson. We won 7 out of the 8 matchups with Tucson. We won 6 out of the 8 with Colorado, and we can split with Ontario with a win on Wednesday against the Reign. So I mean, that's puncher's chance more so than anybody. I'm cautious to just say, hey, let's line up Tucson. We dominate Tucson. We've won 25 out of the last 30 games against them. I mean, you still have to win 2 out of 3, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to go on the road to do it. But
and playoff time is a whole different animal than regular
season.
So
home ice isn't necessarily I don't think the biggest factor. I think it's just from a travel perspective, and I think the travel only comes in honestly with the 2 Canada teams, Abbotsford and Calgary. Calgary is easier to get to. Abbotsford is a nightmare to get to on short notice. But Tucson and Colorado, honestly, are pretty easy to get to from our perspective on short notice. So, it's definitely a game we didn't want to lose last night. We did, and now the backs are against the wall. But we just want to be playing good hockey going in to the postseason. So we'll see what happens here next week.
We're running a little long today, but let's do some quick recaps since we last talked about the games in which did occur. Let's first talk about the Tucson game last Wednesday, where we did take them out 4-1 at home. What were you seeing?
Yeah, clinched a playoff berth, and we've had Tucson's number. We play them well. They're a team that likes to get under your skin, and we don't really allow that, and kind of stick to our game. And we play good teams well. I honestly believe that. Like, we play Coachella Valley really well. We play Tucson really well. It's kind of the bottom feeders that we've struggled a little bit here. 500 record against the bottom 2 teams in the league. And that's why we're on the outside looking in for home ice. So, but against the top teams, we're gold.
Let's go and talk about the double back-to-back game where we split with Calgary, aka Stockton.
We 5-2 loss on Friday night, then a 5-2 win on Saturday. And I don't think we played bad on Friday. I just thought that Calgary was more physical, was more opportunistic, and then it completely flipped on Saturday. I thought we responded really well, and that's kind of the hope out there for this Condors team is who's going to beat this team 2 out of 3. I think it's going to be tough, honestly. I really do, because we've found the way to respond in tight games like that. A team hasn't swept us. I mean, I'm trying to go back and look. I can't remember a team sweeping us this year. So, you go back to the Canada series. I guess it was Canada, right? Like we lost up in Canada.
That's right.
The 2 games against Abbotsford, the 2 games against Calgary, but that was a different beast back then. This is a lot different team and a lot different looking team. So good response, and good to get the split against Calgary and stay in the fight.
We have one game between now and the next time you and I chat, and that is going to be against the top team in the Pacific, who is living up to the word fire, because they are on fire right now. They won 5 in a row, 8-1, 0-1 in the last 10, and that is Coachella, where we've had some ups and downs with them this year.
Yeah, we've had more ups than anybody, but Coachella has been the beast here in the second half of the year. They've been helped out because Seattle tanked here over the second half of the season, and they're going to be loaded up for the playoffs. There's no doubt. Like, the Pacific Division rolls through Coachella Valley. You want to get yourself to the Calder Cup final or get to the Western Conference final, you're going through Palm Desert, and it's going to be 115 degrees. So
as long as the ice doesn't melt like it tried to do in San Diego that day.
Yeah. So it's going to be tough. There's no doubt about it. But that said, I love us against Coachella tomorrow night. Like, and you might think, oh, we just lost to San Diego, but we played the tough teams really well. And so I really don't mind us against Coachella Valley tomorrow night. They clinched the Pacific Division last night. They're going to get a first round bye. I wouldn't anticipate them resting guys. I honestly wouldn't, because they're going to have 9 days off here in a week. So, so they're, and that's likely the second round opponent, for Bakersfield if we get there. So it'll be a good barometer, but we know what they bring. If you don't play well against them, you have no chance of winning. If you play well, it's a good matchup.
People want to check out the game tomorrow night, and they don't want to get on a bus like you're about to shortly. What do they need to do?
AHL TV. We'll get it going at 6:45, and just 4 games left. It's crazy time of the year, but it's a fun time of the year, right? Like, we're fully focused on hockey. It's fun. Like, there's no, we do a lot of stuff up in the office outside of hockey, but it's purely hockey right now, and it's a fun time of the year.
Love that. So people check that out. AHL TV is going to be the way to check out. Ryan Holt will have the call for you, so you can do that as well. And then we'll talk next Tuesday. Hopefully you're not stuck in another hellhole.
I think I'm good. I got my license for another. How many years is it good? Is it 10?
I think it's 5.
It's 5,
Yeah,
7. We'll go with whatever it is.
Anyways, Ryan Holt for the Basel Condors. My name is Erik Fox from Energy 95.3. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us every single week as we get you caught up on your digital connection with your Energy Condors connection. And we'll catch you next time.